Creativity and imagination are probably the two most key components in any Smash hit. The 10 items on this list, against better judgment, decided to ditch them in favor of lazily copy-pasting what made something else work. Some of these may not be bad games purely in their own rights, but there's no denying that they all lack the heart and soul that make a true success. These are our 10 worst blatant ripoffs in gaming. The Simpsons Road Rage / Crazy Taxi. Contrary to most of this countdown, Simpsons Road Rage was actually a pretty great game. It may have borrowed handsomely from Sega's Crazy Taxi, but it did so with its own personal spin. And with an identifiable cast from one of television's biggest ever hits, but it borrowed nonetheless, and the controversy around the many near identical gameplay elements arose shortly after release. Sega claimed patent infringement, a case was sparked, and was settled for an undisclosed fee behind closed doors. Happily though, we haven't allowed that to taint our enjoyment of this, one of history's best worst ripoffs. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale / Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Super Smash Bros. Brawl carved its niche with a cast of recognizable fighters and well-tuned gameplay. It has immense replayability and has enjoyed immense success for its efforts. The same could be said of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Well, with about a tenth of the acclaim and not nearly half the success. It was a bare-faced clone that took Nintendo's idea and hastily replaced all those beloved iconic characters with some of Sony's stand-ins, and though we love Drake and Sackboy, let's not pretend for a second that their fame measures up to Mario or Luigi. Mole Kart / Mario Kart. As far as kart racers go, Mario Kart speeds ahead of the pack in a clear pole position. Mole Kart, on the other hand, fumbles around in about third or fourth. Sure, it's found its own modest slice of success, but only by doing almost exactly what Mario Kart did before it, only with less characters, a less pleasing soundtrack, less items, and racing tracks that seem to mirror Mario's almost perfectly. True, this may be nearly the next best thing, but really why bother with the next best when, actual Mario Kart exists? Fighters History / Street Fighter II. Street Fighter II was a roaring success. It shot into such popularity that Capcom, understanding the goldmine in their hands, took their time with it. Instead of jumping into an immediate sequel, they made a slew of alternate versions and additions, and then there was Fighters History, quite different from the rest of these variations. Why? Because Capcom didn't even make it. Data East did. It was more or less the exact same game, minus the fighters the Street Fighter fanbase had come to know and love. Unsurprisingly, Capcom didn't really appreciate the flattery and responded with a swift lawsuit. Yeah, maybe they should have asked first. Garshasp the Monster Slayer / God of War. One of the great questions that plagues any good developer: what do you do when another studio has taken your idea, somehow traveled back in time, and already made a hugely successful franchise of it? Just shift your mythology a little to the left. That's exactly what Garshasp the Monster Slayer did. It was God of War's combo-based gameplay with the same outlying platforming and the existence of similar puzzles, only instead of Greece, it hinged itself on Persian mythos instead, which makes it all better, right? Not right. Appearing 6 long years after Kratos' debut, Garshasp was merely a ghost of the ghost of Sparta, receiving middling reviews and substandard scores. Well, can't say we're surprised. Pokeball's training / Pokemon Go. Last year, Pokemon Go capitalized on the mobile gaming phenomenon to whip up a lot of buzz for the Pokemon franchise. Buzz that no doubt aided the success of Sun and Moon later that year. Fortunately, it didn't go into the success of Pokeball's training, a thinly veiled fraud that borrowed Go's concepts under the guise of training players to properly catch Pokemon. This failed spectacularly on two fronts. First, the throwing physics were different than in Pokemon Go, invalidating the whole training exercise. Second, the critters in this were far removed from adorable Pokemon. They were cheap, poorly designed abominations, like an average Pokemon on an acid trip gone wrong. Yeah, we were too busy worrying about the oncoming nightmares than to actually do any training. Final Combat / Team Fortress 2. You know that competitive shooter with a cast of zany characters and a focus on team synergy? The one with well-produced shorts introducing each playable fighter? No, not Team Fortress 2, the other one, Final Combat. Oh, you didn't? Yeah, don't worry. Only about 10 people play the damn game anyways. That's because it hijacks TF2's fundamentals and, well, does nothing with them. It's completely starved of the charm or creativity that makes Valve's shooter special, with creative characters the likes of the Fat Man and the Rocket. Unless you, for whatever reason, really hate Gabe Newell, and we don't know why you would, we suggest you just stick with TF2. It has nicer hats anyways. The Great Gianna Sisters / Super Mario Brothers. The Great Gianna Sisters, a 2D side-scroller in which we're tasked with traveling through a string of wacky worlds. Along the way, we gather power-ups, happily hop on our enemies' heads, and accrue a fortune of diamonds. See the parallels? According to the various legends, Nintendo did too, and they didn't like them. As the rumors go, they opened up a lawsuit in attempts to punish the game's creators, Time Warp Productions and Rainbow Arts. Turns out, these were nothing more than rumors, but it doesn't take an aficionado to see that this is no homage, but a shameless copy of Super Mario Bros. Super Noah's Arc 3D / Wolfenstein 3D. With its hyper-violent themes and obsession with slaughtering Nazis, Wolfenstein 3D struck gold. It was only a matter of time until something unashamedly copied it. We just never expected it to be like this. Super Noah's Arc 3D tore away all the violence and bloodshed and replaced them with overbearing Christian themes. All those villains we delighted in hosing down, they were animals now, who we, as Noah, pelted with sleep-inducing food. The brutal bosses we love to overcome, now nauseating characters like Ernie the elephant and Kiri the kangaroo. Well, never thought we'd say it, but we'll take Mecha Hitler any day. Angry Birds / Castle Clout. Angry Birds is an overwhelmingly popular app game. It's spawned spin-offs, clothed an entire generation of mobile gamers and merchandise, and prompted a freaking movie. All because of a fun physics-based activity that has us slinging projectiles at wobbling structures for hours on end. An awesome concept that a humble little flash game called Castle Clout already devised long ago. Angry Birds merely hoisted this idea and slapped some cutesy, colorful critters all over it, to a response of roaring success and millions upon millions of downloads. The makers of Castle Clout must be furious. Don't worry, we'll still give you a play from time to time. Who am I kidding? I'm just gonna play Angry Birds. That's it for our part in our dishonorable countdown. Now it's over to you. If you want to cast a shadow over any ripoffs you feel are worthy of the criticism, feel free to in the comments below. There's only so much time and so many cheapskate titles to get to, so do your bit and bash them to your heart's content. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe to TGN. I'm Moxness, and I'll see you next time.